Okay, so this is going to be my bright idea slash constructive criticism for the warrior vocation for Dragon's Dogma 2. This is the vocation that has a lot of people aren't satisfied with it, I would say, because of how much slower it is. I disagree
Do you
with
know
them.
how long
I
you've been
kind of
playing?
am a good
I only ask
fan
so that I
of.
might adopt the most
Oh my
effective.
gosh. Can I turn pawn chatter off real fast? Sorry about this. I'm gonna actually restart this if this takes too long to find. Uh, pawn voices, yeah. Everything. Yep, 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 yep. Okay, cool. So, sorry about that. So, a lot of people say they're not happy with it because of how slow it is, right? I don't actually dislike it because of how slow it is. I just feel like they've left a lot on the table and they weren't very creative with it. So I'm gonna go through some stuff. Shoot, I don't have enough moves on this, but it'll make sense as I go through it. So actually, hold up. Let's first talk about what Warrior used to be. Let's first talk about what Warrior used to be. So this game should look familiar. This is Dragon's Dogma Jocker, isn't? If you're brand new to the franchise, this game isn't that familiar. But I am a warrior at this moment in time. I'm what used to be a warrior. So warrior was a lot quicker back then. Matter of fact, you didn't use your charge attacks at all because they were all garbage compared to just this. This was the jumping light attack in Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. Alright? It also served as kind of a jump in the quarter. Because as you can see, it retains your momentum and actually gives you a bit of upwards momentum as you jump. So the other thing is that it also gave you kind of this. So you can use that upwards momentum as you jump to do that. Another thing is, suppose you had your weapon sheathed, it came out immediately. All right, same thing for jumping heavy. Now, jumping heavy is actually pretty much identical between Dragon's Dogma 1 and 2. The only issue is that your sheathing is not automatic anymore. It's just not instant. It takes some time to unsheath. Let's compare this to Dragon's Dogma 2. Now, in Dragon's Dogma 2, if I am sheathed and I try to pull my weapon out, this guy actually got me killed one time. It just comes out. Like, I can't just go straight into the attack. Yeah, I pressed the heavy attack button and I got nothing. Same thing for light attack. Now, you can, and I'm doing it on flat ground, you can smash out a heavy attack from flat ground. So I'll even just do it standing still. Right? So you can just double tap in order to get that effect. And if I'm not mistaken, it looks like it... No, it doesn't give you an upwards momentum. I thought for a second I saw a little upwards momentum there. So, it's functionally identical to the heavy attack in Dragon's Dogma 1. However, it doesn't do the multi-hit. But it does basically everything that you would expect that version of the attack to do. But what really was nerfed for Warrior was this attack here. This is your jumping light, and I can't even do it from the ground. I have to get something. And I can't do it while sheathed. I have to actually pull it out. That's your jumping light. So if you try to do it, you can do it while standing, but if you try to do it while sheathed, oh shoot, I actually managed to nail it that time. Yeah, you could just barely get that out there. I was trying to do it before I started this video and I couldn't get it out. Yeah, I guess when I'm running it's a little bit more difficult. Yeah. If I'm moving, it doesn't come out. But, okay. So, compared to what we had before, Jumping Light is a lot worse. Um, I don't know why it's a lot worse, but it is. And they also replaced the animation with kind of this downward swing, it looks like. instead of this kind of, if you look at, if you look at Dragon's Dogma 1, it was perfect. It was like over your head vertical. That's perfect for smashing enemy faces in. It was great for headshotting things. Anything at your height or higher was getting hit in the head. And they replaced it with kind of slower swinging version. I don't like it very much. I'm gonna get real with you. Uh, but okay, so what are my bright ideas for constructive criticism? What can we do to make Warrior better? So I don't dislike the slowdown that much. I do wish instant sheathing was a thing still, but I don't dislike the slowdown that much and the more focus on these charging moves because the charging moves now have more purpose and they're actually a little bit more flexible, especially with two that go into the air now. But what I would like to see is stuff like, um, actually, I think I'm gonna reset from. Sorry about this, because I want to actually show you the moves. I don't want to just talk about the moves. I want to show you the moves. I want to. I wish they had a momentum system. That's what I want to talk about. Momentum. All right. So we have weight, we have slowness, and that's fine because we do hit hard enough to justify it. But I would rather have more momentum. I'm back being a warfare. I was a warrior when you just first saw me, but now I'm one of these again. So
Have you business with the guild, sir? I should be glad.
that's fine. We can do what we need to do as a warfare. So lunge. Let's go with Mountain Breaker here. Really, the ones I want to talk about are stuff like this. Um, Raising Sweep. Heavenward Sunder is almost the same um, as Mountain Breaker.
To assist you.
Actually, since I have, since I'm only going to use this weapon, I can just go ahead and throw Mountain Breaker on there. These are the moves I want to focus on. I want to talk about combos, combos, and getting things together. I'm just gonna go back up to where I was. Trying to find a safe place to practice techniques in this game is very difficult because, yeah, the guards get on you very quickly. So, but I have found this little sanctuary in the castle where your pawns don't really bother you that much and neither does anybody else. And it's actually aptly named the castle training ground, right? So you just go behind the training ground actually into the kind of this whatever area, and then you just jump down. This is where I started. All right, so for me, it's about the ability to go from one move into another. All right, so you see that? So I start with my blade all the way to the right there, right? So why can't I go from that into this quicker? That's what I would ask. And why can't I get a bonus on charge time and stamina use? So there's this game called Sword Art Online Alicization Lycoris, and they basically do that where you can combo from move to move if you do timing correctly. And this is already a very timing based vocation. I would say if I do something like that puts my weapon in this position, I should be able to immediately skip charge and go into this and even get a stamina benefit a little bit. Like either no, well, not no stamina, but less stamina loss when I do it that way. And same thing for these moves, right? So this move ends over here. If I'm not mistaken, what move starts over there? Mountain Breaker is right. So right arm wouldn't be it. A lot of moves start from the right. There was one that started from the left. Well, in any case, let me try to get this right. Yeah. Which move starts from the left? I'm just gonna look at it real quick. Because I know there's at least one that starts from the left. Oh, that's fine. Oh, Arc does. That's right. Arc starts from left. Yeah. So now, granted, you can't knock off the entire charge for Arc. That'd be crazy. Or that. Windstorm starts from left too. Like, there's a few moves that start from left. And even that could be a left-handed move. Like, yeah, based on whether your blade is supposed to be on the right of your body or on the left of your body, there should be a benefit for timing on each of these moves based on where you just finished out. So from raising sweep, I should be able to go straight from raising sweep into a windstorm slash, right? So I finished that move, right? I finished that move. Go raising sweep, one, two. Oh, well, it's not going to show the. It will show the charge version. One, two. Left hand blade, and then I can start at that position, and that can knock off maybe half the charge of Arc of Might. Or I could skip the first split second of Windstorm Slash because that's already a very fast move, but getting into it even faster would be cool. Like going from Raising Sweep to Windstorm Slash would give you a lot better of a space. And then Windstorm Slash could kind of be a pivot move because its main weakness right now is that you have to stay completely still during it. But what if you were able to pivot from, okay, this move goes right arm, left arm. So I can pivot into any other move basically. I want to pivot into Raising Sweep to change my position or to dodge something, or into Heavenward Thunder because something jumped, or what have you. I can do that. Or you knock the enemy down, you want to go straight into Arc of Might off of a left hand, go into that. That's what I would say. Like, work on momentum for these moves. So, if somebody's really good at paying attention and timing, they don't just get good charge attacks, they get good combos, like cancel from one move to the next move quickly. You don't have to cancel a full animation, obviously. You don't want to be like, Mountain Breaker, Lash, Tidal Rat, like, not that quickly. But give them the stamina benefit and make it significantly quicker. Not so that it should feel good to play, right? It should feel good. And that would make up for a lot of the basically this class is kind of a skill issue class right now. Or it's still a skill issue class right now, I should say. But if it had better performance locked behind even more skill, I think it would be better. I think if it was just like a case of no, you just need to basically play Tekken and get to all your just frames right, it would be even better. Granted, I don't think they should be 1 frame punishes or whatever, but maybe 15 frames for some of these links. That one. So I want to talk about jumping as well. So this vocation doesn't have a good jump. One thing I would recommend is something like this. So this move does give you that, and then oh yeah, it's kind of hard to cancel. So I would say do this, and then I should be able to automatically cancel by using either Heavenward Sunder or Mountain Breaker. So I should be able to go from this to cancel to a Mountain Breaker, but I don't have to hit cancel in my version of this. I should be able to just, as I'm running, boom, 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 and then Mountain Breaker. All right. And then I hit Mountain Breaker, and because I'm already charging, I already have all this forward momentum, I don't need to charge it. I just go straight into it. Boom. Poke. And it would hit depending on your forward momentum. Obviously, the slower you're moving, the weaker it is. But if you're moving at full speed and you throw a Mountain Breaker out, you're just going to instantaneously get a fully charged Mountain Breaker off. Like, you not only fully charged, but it's like you had just framed it, because there is the warrior ability core skill for just frames. Yeah, breakneck strike. Same thing with Heavenward Sunder, except for Heavenward Sunder, I would use it as if it's a jump. So if you use these two moves together, let's say you canceled this one. Excuse me. Let me fix that. So I'm doing this, and then boom, I go into Heavenward Sunder. Well, normally, boom, and then you get that jump. So it should, if you have enough speed behind it, it should retain your forward momentum from Ravenous Lunge, and then also your upward momentum from Heavenward Sunder. Because remember, if we're doing it this way, it's acting like it's charged. Oh, actually, let me think, because the charge for this is way too far back, actually. I don't think that actually works together very well. Yeah, yeah. Maybe, yeah, because of how badly the, yeah, those don't go together very well. With Mountain Breaker, it makes a lot more sense because your blade is forward, but your blade is literally back during Heavenward Sun. Dang, it works a lot better in my head than it does on paper. Darn it, than it does in reality. Okay, well, since that doesn't work, you can't just go from Ravening Lunge to Heavenward Sunder. Then how about this instead? Ravening Lunge to jump. Just give it a jump. Like, I wish this was on Indomitable Lunge in the first game in the first place. Like, why can't you just jump while doing this? Even if you have to spend your attack, right? So you have to cancel your attack. But during that moment where it's like, oh, you're thrusting, you're also basically long jumping while you're doing it. So you get that forward momentum even though you don't get that upwards momentum. So that would give you a long jump with Warrior, maybe not a high upwards jump. The other thing I would do is for Mountain Breaker. Mountain Breaker itself is kind of a jump, but not very much. But let that also be kind of a little bit of a skip, retain some momentum. That's kind of just to get that feeling of Dragon's Dogma 1 jumping light. Because remember, this is all you had. You just had to press the A button and the X button in the first game to get this effect. So my proposal for Dragon's Dogma 2 is, yeah, make it a little bit harder, but at the same time, it's it's the same effect. Last thing is for Heavenward Sunder and for Mountain Breaker, but mostly Heavenward Sunder. This should be cancelable into Jumping Heavy for sure. Matter of fact, let me check light. It should be also cancelable because light's coming from high too. Granted, you wouldn't use light for it because heavy's so much better in this game. But this should be cancelable into Jumping Heavy as well as grab. Meaning, yeah. After you reach apex with that, again, just using your just frames. The moment I reach apex, so right here, I should be able to tap the button and immediately get a jumping heavy, right? And same thing for Mountain Breaker. Except with Mountain Breaker, it doesn't really make sense to get jumping heavy out of that because all your momentum is going upwards. But to get a much weaker attack like jumping light kind of makes sense. So you can get a jumping light out of that, or if you really want to, a grab, which would make a lot of sense too because you're fighting heavy enemies. So those are my ideas for what to do in order to make Warrior better. That's just my constructive, I would say constructive criticism, but it's more like my ideas of how to make Warrior a better vocation. Like, you don't have to necessarily change too many things. Just make skills link together. Just give them some kind of, you know what people like when they play Magic the Gathering? Interaction. Being able to interact with other players is very, very fun. Being able to play the game. And it feels like every time you use a move, you're basically, I mean, commitment's cool, but you're like, yeah, nothing combos into another move. Why don't I get any kind of, like, honestly, Heavenward Thunder almost needs to combo into itself. Like, why does this boom, and then boom? Why can't I immediately get another charge going? Not immediately charge, but immediately get another charge going because I'm already in the correct position. Like, stuff like that. Yeah, so linking momentum is what I would call it. Warrior needs a linking momentum. Uh, I like that it is heavier, it's slower in this game. I don't dislike it because now it feels like it really is a truly heavy warrior class. But at the same time, there needs to be reward for skill and reward for things that you would expect. And some of the moves feel like they're punishing you more than they're helping you, if that makes sense. So that's all I have. As for Barge, I don't know what to do with Barge. I don't know what to do with this, guys. It's a good skill in and of itself, but I don't know what you would do with that. Maybe if you're full speed running before a barge, it should hit a little bit harder because you're throwing your body weight into it. But yeah, I think a lot of things when it comes to numbers for Warrior, more damage should come from momentum. Whether you're running before you hit the enemy, whether you're using a heavy, like, things should be able to link into each other. It should like kind of flow like water, or maybe not quite like water, but like molasses. But it should flow. But yeah, that's it. I've been me. You've been awesome. I hope you've enjoyed this. Peace.